Namaste, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. I am JVN Dr. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapith Women's University. Today we will discuss the anatomy of penis, part 2, and we will discuss the rest sinuses. In earlier session we discussed about the maxillary sinus and frontal sinus. Now we will discuss about the sphenoid sinus. It occupies the body of sphenoid. The two right and left sinuses are rarely symmetrical and are separated by a thin bony septum, which is often obliquely placed and may even be deficient. Compare the frontal sinus. Ostium of the sphenoid sinus is situated high up in the anterior wall and opens into the sphenoethmoidal recess, medial to the superior or supreme turbinate. It may be slate-like, oval, or round, and can be seen endoscopically. In adults, it is situated about 1.5 cm from the upper border of choana. The average distance from the anterior nasal spine to the ostium is about 7 cm. An adult sphenoid sinus is about 2 cm high, 2 centimeter deep, and 2 centimeter wide, but its pneumatization varies. In some cases, pneumatization may extend into greater or lesser wing of sphenoid, pterygoid, or clivus, that is the basilar part of occipital bone. Here is an image of the coronal section of sphenoid sinus. Note the reliefs made by various structures in the cavity of sphenoid sinus. Optic nerve forms the superolateral ridge. These are the relations of the sphenoid sinus. Now we'll discuss the relations of the sphenoid sinus. The lateral wall of the sphenoid is related to the optic nerve and carotid artery. The opticocarotid recess can be seen in between the two. It may extend laterally when the anterior clinoid processes are also pneumatized. Maxillary nerve may be related to lower part of the lateral wall of sphenoid. The optic nerve and internal carotid artery are usually covered by a thin bone, but sometimes this bony covering may be dehiscent and then these structures lie exposed, covered by only by mucosa. Floor of the sinus is related to the median nerve. Relation of the roof can be divided into two parts. Anterior part of the roof is related to the olfactory tract, optic chiasma, and frontal lobe, while posterior part is related to the pituitary gland in the sella turcica and laterally to the cavernous sinus. Posterior wall of the sphenoid forms the clivus. Relations of the sphenoid sinus are important in endoscopy skull base surgery. Then mucous membrane of paranasal sinuses. Paranasal sinuses are lined by a mucous membrane which is continuous with that of the nasal cavity through the ostia of sinuses. It is thinner and less vascular compared to that of the nasal cavity. Histologically, it is ciliated columnar epithelium with goblet cells which secrete mucus. Cilia are more marked near the ostia of sinuses and help in drainage of mucus into the nasal cavity. So here's a development and growth of paranasal sinuses. Here's the mucociliary clearance of paranasal sinuses. The first they have shown the A image maxillary sinus, B frontal sinus, and C the anterior and posterior group of sinuses. Now, development of paranasal sinuses. The paranasal sinuses develop as outpouchings from the mucous membrane of lateral wall of nose. At birth, only the maxillary and ethmoidal sinuses are present and are large enough to be clinically significant. Growth of the sinuses continues during childhood and early adult life. Radiologically, maxillary sinuses can be identified at 4 to 5 months, ethmoids at 1 year, frontals at 6 years, and sphenoids at 4 years. Have shown the development and growth of paranasal sinuses, the status at birth, growth, and first radiological evidence. Then the lymphatic drainage. The lymphatics of the maxillary, ethmoid, frontal, and sphenoid sinuses form a capillary network in their lining mucosa and collect with lymphatics of nasal cavity. Then they drain into the lateral retropharyngeal or jugular digestive nodes. So here completes our anatomy of the paranasal sinus. Thank you so much. This session is powered by digital version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapit Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you so much. Namaste, Hamisha खुश रहो बिटिया. I am JV and Dr. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapit Women's University. Today we will discuss the treatment of Shirorog. So we will shall discourse on the chapter which deals with the therapeutics of the disease of the head. Shirorog Pratished. Treatment of Vata Shirorog. The remedial measure described in connection with the treatment of Vata Vyadhi should be employed in their entirety in the Vayu originated types of the diseases of the head, and all medicinal compounds of oil or clarified butter should be followed by a portion of milk. Mudgukulat or marsh pearls unmixed with any other thing, as well as pungent and heat-making articles saturated with clarified butter and followed by portions of tepid milk should be given in the night. Sesame oil or the paste of sesame may also be taken. Milk duly boiled with the Vayu subduing drug should be employed in a lukewarm state in washing the diseased locality, and a plaster composed in the powders of the same drug boiled with milk should be applied lukewarm to the scalp. In the alternative, the scalp may be plastered over with the boiled flesh of fish or with crushed preparation of the rice and sesame saturated with sandal salt, or with the paste of chandan, utpal, kusht, pipli, finely powdered together, all in a lukewarm state. Oil duly prepared with kulir crabs should be used for nasya purposes subsequent to the employment of the fermentation. A quantity of milk diluted with the addition of half as much of water should be duly boiled with the paste of the drugs of the Varunadi group and taken down from the fire when the water has evaporated. Butter should be skimmed out of it when cool, and clarified butter prepared therefrom should be again duly cooked with the paste of the drugs of the Madhur group. The use of this grit as a nasya is highly efficacious in the type under discussion. Clarified butter duly cooked with the decoction of the preceding drugs, Varnadi group, and with the milk should be taken with sugar. Snake doom should be administered in time when required, and Tavret Grit and Balatir should be prescribed as a draught and as an arene, as well as for the purposes of anointing, sprinkling, and bastikar. The food in the present type of the disease should be given with milk cooked with Vayu subduing drugs and with meat soup saturated with snehe, clarified butter. Then comes the treatment of Pittaja and Rakta Shirorog. Cooling paste saturated with clarifying butter should be applied to the scalp, and cooling head washes should be prescribed in the Pittaja and Rakta types of Shirorog. Milk, the expressed juice of sugarcane, fermented rice, grill, dhanyamul, curd cream, mastu, honey and sugar mixed in water, they should be used for sprinkling purposes. Plaster for the head should be prepared with nal, vetus, khadir, red lotus, chandan, utpal, shank, conch several yashtimadu, musta, and lotus taken together and mixed with clarified butter, and the plasters described in connection with the treatment of Pittaj and Raktaj with syrup should be used. The drugs of the Madhu group should be used in a tepid state as plasters, and the Sneh duly cooked with the same drug should be used as an arene, and appropriate medicine should be used as purgatives, as well as in the Ashtaphan and Snevasti measures. Asthapan and Snevasti measures. Clarified butter skimmed from milk and fresh vasa of jungle animals should be used as arenes, and cooked with the drugs of the Utpaladi group should be used in this manner of Asthapan Basti. Food should be taken with meat soup of jungle animals, and clarified butter should be used in the manner of an Anuvasan Basti. Clarified butter skimmed from milk and duly cooked with the drugs of the mother group and mixed with sugar should be used for emulsive purposes, Nehan, and all measures and remedies which are remedial to the deranged blood and pith may be likewise employed with profit in these cases. Then treatment of Kapha Shirorog. In case of the Kapha Shirorog, the cough subduing measures such as strong emetics, head purgatives, Shirovirek, and gargling should be resorted to. The transparent upper part of clarified butter should be given to drink, and fermentation should then be frequently applied to the head. Head purgatives should then be administered with the pith of madhu wood or with meshringi and ingudi bark. Vati sticks made of meshringi and ingudi bark should be used in smoking. Snuffs of powered cutful should be taken, and gargles with cough subduing drugs should be used. Plasters prepared with saral kusht devdaru roast pasted together with the alkaline water and mixed with sand of salt should be applied lukewarm to the head. The diet should consist of cooked barley or shastik rice, which should be judiciously taken with yaushar and powdered tricotuf and with the soup of mocked patol and kulat pulse. Then the treatment of Tridosha and Shayaj Shirorog. The measures which are severely remedial to the three deranged doshas of the body should be applied in case of Shirorog marked by the concerted action of the three doshas, Tridosh, and rods of old and matured clarified butter are said to be specially efficacious in such instances. Employment of nutritive Yabringar measures and remedies is recommended in cases of the diseases of the head due to any waste or atrophy of the local fat, that is Shechiroro. Clarified butter duly cooked with the admixture of the drugs of the Vayu subduing and the Madhur groups should be given as drinks and arrange. Any medicated grit which act as a remedy in cases of consumptive cough should be found most effective in the present year Shech type. Then treatment of creamy Shiroro. In case of the headache, due to the germination of parasites or creamy in the head, the patient should be made to snuff in a quantity of animal blood. The worms or parasites lured with the smell of the blood would greedily come down into the passages of the nostrils when they should be carefully extracted by means of tongs, etc. Head purgatives composed of the pulverized seeds of Hreswa Shigu mixed with Kansai, dead brass, and nearly indigo pounded together should then be used if necessary, or any vermifuge drug, vidang, etc., pasted with the urine of a cow. They should be snuffed into the nostrils in the manner of a opiate nasya. The fumigation should be applied into the nostrils with the fumes of burnt, salted fishes, and vermifuge foods and drinks of various kinds should be given. Then the treatment of Suryavat and the Vedak. Rinse, etc., plaster, gargle, etc., should be prescribed in cases of the Suryavat type of Shirorog. The diet should principally consist of boiled rice and milk with clarified butter and the essence or extract of with the meat of jungle animals. These are similar other suitable remedial agents should be employed in cases of the Ardhav Bhedak type of Shirorog. Shirish and mulak seeds or bamboo roots, camphor or vacha and magdi or yashti madhu and honey or manha seed pasted with honey or chandan should be snuffed into the nostrils in the manners of an opiate in case of the Suryavar type of Shirorog as well as in case of the Ardhavedak headache. After the use of the above, the patient should be made to snuff in the medicated clarified butter cooked with the drugs of the Madhur Kakolyadi group in both the above cases. Plasters composed of Sariva, Utpal Kusht and Yashtimadu pasted with kanjic acid gruel and surcharged with oil and clarified butter are to be found efficacious in both the cases if applied to the affected region. This may be employed with equal success in cases of the Kapha Shiroro. Treatment of Anantvad. The cases of Anantvad Shirok should be treated like those of the Suryavar. Moreover, bloodletting should be affected by opening a local vein and the diet should be such as to subdue the Vayu and Pit and should consist of Madhu, Mastak, Sangya and Gritpura, different kinds of confectionery made of wheat, sugar, milk, clarified butter, etc. Last is the treatment of Shankhak. The clarified butter churned from the milk should be given for a drink and used as a arine in case of shankak, and the diet should consist of boiled rice mixed with clarified butter and the essence of the meat of jungle animals. Plasters composed of shatavari, black sesame, yashtimadu, nilotpal, durva and punarnava adi pasted together, or of maha sugandha, utpal sariva or palindi pasted with kanjika should be applied to the affected locality. Cooling washes and the plasters as well as different outbreed nastyas prescribed in cases of Suryavar should also be prescribed for this disease. Shankak. Strong head purgatives composed of oil and honey should be first administered in cases of Shirurok with the exception of the Crimage and the Shage types. Then the patient should be made to snuff in drops of mustard oil. In cases where the preceding remedies would fail to produce any relief, the patient should be treated with Snehi and Swed. The bleeding should then be affected by opening a local vein. So here completes our treatment of Shirorog. Thank you so much. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you so much.